Thank you for joining us. Our sign language interpreter is Maresha Owiti. Now, the war against terror made headlines again in Mombasa today as Ikrima Shoshi became the latest terror suspect to be nabbed and arrested and arraigned in court. Investigations kicked off for youthful Shoshi, a younger brother to Ismail Shoshi, another top terror suspect still at large. As KTN's Francis Ontomo reports, Ikrima was arrested at a popular nightclub in Mombasa by CID officers at 3 a.m.
Ikrima Shoshi was brought to Mombasa law courts under heavy security guard. CID officers taking measure of every stride he made as he stepped into the judiciary to face charges of being a member of terror group Al-Shabaab. Shoshi is said to have been arrested by CID officers at a popular nightclub frequented by both local and foreign tourists a few hours before sunrise. No ammunition was recovered from him, and it's still unclear who he was with at the time of arrest. Prayers by the prosecution to have more time to investigate the suspect were granted, as presiding principal magistrate Nicholas Njagi gave 15 days for the process to end. And during the time, Shoshi will be held at Port Police Station. Ikrima is a younger brother to Ismail Shoshi, another top terror suspect linked to a string of killings in Mombasa. The elder Shoshi is connected with the murder of an intelligence officer last year in July, and also the assassination of a police officer at Mombasa's Bondeni area, among other cases. Ismail Shoshi is believed to have been part of the gang that escaped a police dragnet during the recent Kingorani ambush. Mahmoud Salim Mohammed is another suspect serving 30 days of remand at Mombasa Central Police Station after he presented himself to Malindi CID headquarters earlier in the week. Law enforcers are saying they are making headway in gathering important data from the suspect. Police are now announcing major headway in combating terrorism in the country.
Because they cannot stand the fire of the government. That one I can assure you folks, that the government is determined to secure this region, no matter what.
For ages, security apparatus in Kenya have blamed the judiciary over the manner in which the arm of government has been dealing with terror suspects, something that had threatened the much-needed collaborative front against terror in Kenya.
Hakuna mzazi yoyote anayekubali mtoto wake aingie katika dhahaba au katika visanga ambavyo ni vizito, visanga ambavyo vitaleta maafa, isipokuwa watoto wenyewe uamuzi wao na hali ya maisha vile inavyowakabili.
Ni jukumu yetu kama Wakenya tupigane na ugaidi, kwa sababu hii ni kitu ya global na lazima tupige vita ya global.
Thus, this 20-year jail sentence slapped against Samuel Wanjala Wabwire was hailed among anti-radicalization crusaders as a heady start that will set the right tone in the war against terror. Francis Ontomwa, KTN News, Mombasa.
Now, the Kenya Film Classification Board says it will not recommend renewal of the license of any broadcasting organization that airs programs involving sex and nudity between 5 a.m. and 10 p.m. Well, this announcement comes just hours after news broke of the new programming code for free-to-air radio and television services in Kenya. But as KTN's Patrick Amimo reports, the Media Owners Association has accused the Communication Authority of Kenya of attempting to regulate the media and warned that some provisions, especially on advertising, would cripple the vibrant media industry.
Sex talk on radio and television programs involving sex and nudity whose content is suitable for adult-only audience has been banned between 5 a.m. and 11 p.m. by the Communication Authority of Kenya. The new regulations on programming gazetted by the authority have also banned airing of promotional material and music videos which contain scenes of violence, sexually explicit conduct, and/or offensive language during the same time frame. Telephone calls or interviews must also not be aired without informing the other party beforehand. The Kenya Film Classification Board has welcomed the regulations.
Broadcasting sexually suggestive content on television and the airing of raunchy radio talk shows in the morning where people discuss sex in the morning within the watershed has continued unabated, despite the fact that the media are aware that they are in breach of the same law.
The Media Owners Association says the Communication Authority of Kenya has ambushed broadcasters because the consultative process had not been concluded.
So when a new
CS comes into place, and then Communication Authority also rushes to gazette regulations that are still being discussed and have not been exhaustively done, so then it worries the media.
All broadcast stations will henceforth be required to obtain a certificate of compliance from KFCB to facilitate the processing of the renewal of their licenses by the CA.
The Media Owners Association is accusing the authority of usurping other institutions' mandates.
For the longest time now, the media in this country have failed, and this is very sad, to regulate themselves.
Interestingly, the regulations limit advertisement to a maximum of 14 minutes in every hour of television broadcasting. Advertisements in guise of news are also prohibited. Also, persons who regularly present news and current affairs programs have been prohibited from featuring in advertisements visually or orally, and the expression newsflash must not be used as an introduction to an advertisement. Media owners are concerned capping advertising to a maximum of 14 minutes every hour will weaken revenue bases of media houses.
We are investors. We have employees who rely on the media houses. Those employees have their families that rely on them. We also have content producers who rely on the existence of media houses to do their businesses. So if done haphazardly, they could have serious repercussion on the media owners.
Can I confess my ignorance on that and think these are some of the things that we need to discuss with the CA?
The regulations also prohibit televangelists from improperly exploiting their audiences by asking them to support them financially. Religious programs featuring supernatural powers and faith healing that aim to mislead or exploit viewers and listeners who may be easily swayed by such beliefs or practices have been banned. A section of the clergy has expressed concern the government will be infringing on freedom of worship in an effort to punish wayward preachers.
Kama kuna wachungaji, viongozi wa makanisa au wa dini ambao wametumia uhuru wao wa kuabudu vibaya, serikali iwafuate na isiweke kila mtu katika matatizo ya mtu mmoja ama wawili. Kwa hivyo sisi kama wachungaji aturuhusu watu watumie uhuru wa kuabudu na kuomba Kenya hii vibaya.
A section of Kenyans responded to the ban on sex talk shows.
It's a good idea because of the moral issue. We have to nurture a young breed of young people with better morals.
Kuna siku tulikuwa na my grand, alafu tulikuwa tunasikia hayo mambo, watu wakipiga wanaongea about mambo na sex nini. Hey, nilisikia aibu sana. Nyanyangu alikuwa ananiangalia akaniambia, hey, msichana wangu, unasikia hayo mambo, usisikie ni ya watu wakubwa.
And what is their take on seed preachers?
Mambo ya kutoa pesa niombewe nifanikiwe, hiyo yote ni wizi. Watu wengi tumetoa na hatufanikiwi. Shida ni ile ya mwaka ujao, mwaka uliopita ni shida.
I'm not saying it wrong for the media, for the servant of God to use the media to reach people, to speak the word of God, and even to tell them to be saved, and even to support the programs, and even towards the preaching of the gospel.
The Kenya Film Classification Board says the regulations are not cast in stone and could be reviewed depending on stakeholders' concerns. Patrick Amimo, KTN News.
The Big Q in association with DSTV. Get a DSTV HD fully installed decoder for only 5,550 shillings.
Right, and that story that has elicited a lot of debate brings us to our big question tonight. And this evening we are asking you, do you support the rule barring televangelists, I beg your pardon, from asking for money on TV and radio? Do you support the rule barring televangelists from asking for money on TV and radio? That's our big question tonight. We'd like to hear your views. The number to text in is 22155 and the hashtag to use on Twitter is Friday Briefing. We'd like to hear your thoughts on this one.
Drop the rest, get the best. This festive season, buy a DSTV HD fully installed decoder for 5,500 shillings to enjoy the best quality family entertainment with various packages to suit your needs from as low as 1,050 shillings.
To some politics now. In Kakamega and Kisii, the latest battleground for the two political alliances in Kenya, are once again in the news. A delegation of almost 900 people from Kakamega tripped to Deputy President William Ruto's home today as Court leader Raila Odinga rushed to Kisii County. Yesterday, some Court MPs from Kisii were among the people that went to Ruto's home in Sugoi. As KTN's Muremi Mwangi reports, the gloves are off, and yet there's still over a year to the next general election.
Barely a day after hosting a delegation of hundreds of people drawn from Kisii and Nyamira counties, led by Kisii Deputy Governor Joash Maangi at his Sugoi home in Eldoret. Deputy President William Ruto played the generous host yet again, this time to a delegation of 900 people, led by MPs allied to the Amani National Congress from Kakamega.
Tunasema sisi tutoke URP twende Jubilee. Wale watoke TNA wakuje Jubilee. Nyinyi mtoke UDF mkuje Jubilee. Wale watoke New Ford Kenya wakuje Jubilee.
Kuja hapa ili tuweze kukubaliana, tujue ni lipi tunaweza kufanya ili tuwe na share yetu kwa serikali inayokuja.
Sisi tusikuje kama wale ndege ambao wanakuja kutandia chakula, wanakula na hata wanahara hapo, si ndio? Kwa njia ya madharau.
President Ruto was strategizing for an entry to the western region. Court leader Raila Odinga landed in Kisii with a bang, trailing his guns on the Jubilee government.
You have to go to somebody's home to go and beg for development. Na sisi tumekuja, tunataka maendeleo, wewe ni makamu wa rais, ndio sababu tumekuja kwako. Sema mmekuja maana yake tumeleta tumbo zetu kwako.
But that court legislators were among the delegation in the Deputy President's home is likely to ignite a major storm in the opposition coalition, which has already vowed to crack the whip on all perceived government sympathizers.
People should not criminalize our meeting with Kenyans. We are going to meet with Kenyans because Kenyans will be better off to make serious decisions on the basis of the information they have.
Maendeleo haiko kwa boma ya mtu. Maendeleo napenda kwa serikali. Na pesa iko Nairobi, nataka ile pesa itoke Nairobi ije mashinani ifanye kazi kwa wananchi.
This even as Jubilee promises to raid the court coalition for some more votes.
Mtu unaweza kuamua sawa sawa kama umesikia Ruto anasema nini? Umesikia Musalia anasema nini? Unasikia Tinga anasema nini?
Sasa jamaa wanakataa na pesa kwa walimu, lakini kila siku natoa rambe milioni 5, milioni 10 kila mahali mbeba na gunia, lakini walimu hawapati pesa.
But the scramble for votes ahead of the 2017 polls has not come without a barrage of verbal missiles. The opposition coalition bashing the Jubilee government over unfulfilled campaign pledges and the scourge of corruption that has grievously plagued the Jubilee administration, this igniting a wrath of the Jubilee brigade.
Maendeleo haiko kwa boma ya mtu. Maendeleo napenda kwa serikali. Na pesa iko Nairobi, nataka ile pesa itoke Nairobi ije mashinani ifanye kazi kwa wananchi.
To keep saying that they will be rigging, election will be stolen, so that when you lose, you prepare your supporters to actually, for violence.
And as the clock ticks closer to the August 2017 polls, the heated campaigns are promising nothing less than political fireworks as the scramble for votes intensifies. Muremi Mwangi, KTN News, Nairobi.
Kenya's Director of Public Prosecutions, Keriako Tobiko, says he has received the file on the investigations into the 250 billion Kenya shillings Eurobond saga. Tobiko says the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission has found no evidence of criminal culpability on the part of any government official, despite claims by opposition leader Raila Odinga that up to 140 billion shillings could not be accounted for. The anti-graft body, according to Tobiko's statement released today, has recommended that the file be closed. The EACC has, however, said the file be forwarded to the Auditor General, but the DPP says his office will independently review that particular file. Now, moving on, reacting to Tobiko's statement, the opposition leader Raila Odinga, who has sustained pressure on the government to account for every penny of the sovereign bond cash, said the DPP Keriako Tobiko should make the probe file public. Speaking to KTN on phone this evening, Raila also wondered why the anti-graft body was recommending the file be sent to the Auditor General if indeed there was no evidence of criminal culpability on the part of any government official. When he spoke during an interview on KTN on Wednesday, Raila said he would announce his next move after the probe file was released. Now moving on to another developing story, and yet another tendering process for the free laptops promised by the Jubilee administration has kicked off today after shortlisted companies presented their technical and financial bids to the ICT authority. Now the companies are seeking to win the 17 billion shilling tender that will see Standard 1 pupils from all public schools across the country benefit from a promise made by the Jubilee administration back in 2013. Timothy Otieno has the details.
Could 2016 be the year pupils receive the laptops promised to them by the Jubilee leaders long before they formed the government? That is the question that the bids evaluation process that commenced today is seeking to answer over a matter dear to the heart of the Jubilee administration.
For HP,
8 companies received the green light after envelopes containing their bid bonds and technical capabilities were received and accepted by the Information, Communications and Technology Authority. This after 2 entities seeking the same tender had their aspirations fail, with Strathmore University withdrawing from the bid early in the day via email, and Smoothtel and Data Solutions, another company, arriving late for the bid.
we hope the next stages will be as smooth as this one, so that eventually we bring this process to a conclusion.
The 8 companies that will be hoping to pass the integrity and capability test to win the tender include Lenovo East Africa Limited, the Hewlett-Packard East Africa, the Symphony Technologies Limited, Dedan Kimathi University in partnership with the Meru Technical College, Kenyatta University, Moi University, the University of Nairobi, and the Jomo Kenyatta University of Science and Technology.
There will actually be 3 bids. And these lots are divided according to counties and the number of schools in those counties. And so you will get lot 1, for example, has a number of schools in a county, lot 2 and lot 3. So all the bidders, all the 10 bidders could bid for either one or all of them.
If the process runs smoothly, it is expected that about 294,981 laptops and 23,951 teacher digital devices will be supplied to schools by July this year, with the Jubilee administration targeting over 900,000 laptops before the end of President Uhuru Kenyatta's first term in office. A similar process was revoked in 2004 after the winning company Olive Telecommunications PVT from India failed to meet the financial requirement set in the tender document and was not an original equipment manufacturer. Unlike in the past process, this time successful bidders must be able to assemble the gadgets locally so as to make it easier to maintain.
All the documents we've taken, an evaluation committee will be appointed, which will go through the documents and analyze them to come up with the winning bidder.
Successful firms will be required to supply and distribute the gadgets, even as the ICT authority insists that the specifications for the actual product will be determined based on the technical audit of the winning firm. The technical audit will take 30 days before a financial analysis of the companies is carried out, with the winner of the tender expected to be known before June this year. Timothy Otieno, KTN News.
Right, and now we just want to take a look at what has arguably been a very bumpy journey to delivering those laptops that Class 1 pupils have been waiting for now about 2.5 years going. Let's now take a look at the timeline. And of course, April 9th, 2013, this is the day that President Uhuru Kenyatta was sworn in, right after he made the promises to deliver the laptops to Class 1 Standard 1 pupils. March 20th of 2014, Olive Technologies moved to court over a cancelled tender. Now, this was after a lot of issues were raised about them being the sole giver or distributor of the particular laptops. Now, June 12th of 2014, the government allocated 17.4 billion for the laptops and digital content development. That was on that particular date. Moving on to the other interesting date that we had, and it's June 25th. And this date, the government put together a team to implement the project within the 18 months. There was a lot of hope at that time that this project would actually kick off as soon as possible, but that, of course, was not to be. Moving on forward, September of 2015, the 4th of September, the government initiated the new tenders for supply of laptops, but still, at that moment, it was not very clear at what moment that was going to happen. Moving on a few months later, and let's just go straight to the next board. Right, we seem to be having a problem with that. But fast forward to the date that Timothy Otieno was talking about. That, of course, was today, the 8th of January. And the evaluation committee was now given a red flag and, of course, a go-ahead to basically proceed with evaluating the tenders that had been brought forward. Now, we understand it's going to take about 10 days before the evaluation committee goes through all the tenders. And after that, we'll get to know which are some of the companies that will be considered to actually take part in that particular project. We'll keep you updated on those details as we continue to wait upon those very, very much awaited, much anticipated laptops. Well, we want to take a short commercial break, but as I promised, CMB Prezzo, Cash Money brother, I don't know if he's going to make me a Cash Money sister today. Will you?
I'm going to make you a Cash Money sister.
Right, so it's good to have you. I understand that you are... Oh, great.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, Preso.
What's up?
It's great to see you.
It's your boy, Rapsilency.
Just
Betty.
Freestyle something for us about Friday briefing.
We don't freestyle for free.
I'm going to pay you.
Alright, I got you.
You got me?
Yeah.
Did you bring anything?
I always come with everything.
Right.
Yeah.
So we'll be talking about his new song, Mrembo. You'll be singing it to us shortly?
Yeah, because you're Mrembo, that's why.
I don't start already. You are late, so don't try and make a case for yourself. Well, we'll take that short commercial break, but we will be back with Preso shortly. Don't go away.
We'll be back, the both of us.
Together.
Together. Bro.
Right, and welcome back to Friday Briefing. Thank you so much for joining us. As you can see, we're all ready and set to... are you ready to sing for us, Mrembo?
Yeah.
But before then...
I was born ready, Betty.
You were born ready?
Yes, ma'am.
So, the thing I want to ask is about the shoes. You know, the way you've sat, you already want us to know what kind of shoe that is.
Oh, no. I was just trying to be comfortable, but yeah, in case you asked, they're Louis Vuittons, though.
Preso.
See? Red bottoms. I think I stepped on some blood.
How much did those cost?
I don't want to talk about that.
You don't want to talk about that?
Yeah.
So where have you been? You've been so quiet.
I've been around.
Where?
You know, like my father, he formed McKinney Herbal Clinic, and I'm the only son. So for that reason, I had to take a course, like, you know, to learn more about herbal remedies. And that's why I was quiet.
So you've been in school? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, ma'am.
Wow. How has that been for you?
It's good. And, you know, like, at the end of the day, like, I'm going to be helping people. So far, so good.
So far, so good.
Yeah.
So let's talk about...
Very soon they'll be calling me Dr. Jackson McKinney.
Really?
Yeah.
Herbal clinic or what? Or drugs?
Herbal.
No, not that kind of... No. You know, medicine is also called drugs. It is. No pun intended.
No.
Okay, so it's gonna be
Herbal clinic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jackson McKinney Herbal Clinic.
Because I want to continue my father's legacy.
Right.
And I sat down with my mom. My mom is my best friend, and you know, she said the least you could do is carry on with your father's legacy.
Do you miss your dad?
I love him to death, man. You know, cameraman, can we please get a picture of my dad? See that?
Okay, there we go. So you miss him. You miss him a lot.
So much.
Right. So you've been busy.
And I think if my dad was here,
Do you think he would be proud of you?
He would be president. He wouldn't be proud of me. He would be president of the Republic of Kenya.
Really? Why do you say that?
Because it runs in the family. Look at me. I'm a president.
But then you're a president of who?
I'm a president of the youth.
Okay. Do they consider you that kind of a leader?
Of course. Anywhere I go, like, ask the people around me, the people behind the scenes, ask them. Everywhere I go, they're just like, Mr. President, and everybody salutes. So
everyone salutes.
Yeah.
So let me ask, there's a lot of people, when I said you're coming, so many people were like, ambia Preso ache kubrag, anaringa sana.
What do you think of my talk though?
Well, I think you should just give us a 360 then. Okay.
I wish I had my
hope. Okay, let's chill. Let's get at this. Let's ask you some questions.
Everybody says I brag.
Yeah, they're like, tell him to tone it down.
Yeah. Why?
Because,
like they ain't helping me pay for whatever I'm bragging for. So why would it concern them? And then I heard Betty, a lot of people say this guy is bragging with family money, and I'm like, okay,
also heard that.
I'm like, be mad at your family for not making it, but my family made it, so I might as well front it. It ain't tricking if you got it.
This is going to be interesting. So, Preso, let's go back to music. And when I was younger, you're very old. So there's this song. No. Let's let you know. So let that pass. So there's this song, "The Letter Action," that was a favorite to so many people.
Yeah.
And I want us to just play it because like when I started. Okay, please, let's chill.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right. Okay, fine. So I was watching the song, and I just want us to play a bit of it, and just to see how you were back then and just how you have transformed, so to speak.
Yeah.
So let's play that video in a Letter Action just to see where you're from. Started from the bottom.
No.
You didn't? Let's watch that video.
Started from the top, and I'm still top.
Right. Okay. So we'll be playing that song shortly. Let's talk about your new song. You have a new song.
I love your dress. It's very nice.
Thank you, Preso. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I was told that by my better half before I came in. So
Yeah.
Thanks though.
He always has to have you.
Okay.
And he's a lucky man. If you're watching, you're a lucky man.
Okay, fine. This is bound to be the hardest interview I'm doing. Okay, Preso, listen. So let's talk about Mrembo.
Yeah, because my name is President. When you're having an interview with the president, it's not going to be easy. You feel me?
Let's talk about the song Mrembo.
Yeah.
Can we talk about that song?
Let's go for it.
Right, let's talk about it. What is it? Is Preso becoming soft?
At the end of the day, you have to realize that Preso is a human being. I got a heart as well. You know what I mean? The tattoos and everything, they might fool you, but then I'm a human being at the end of the day. So if I sing about a love song, it's because I have so much love to share. I have love to share to my mom, my little sisters, my brothers, you as my sister, you know what I mean?
So what inspired it? Are you in love with someone to the point that you wrote that song? Is there someone in your life?
No, in that song, like I was married before. And I got divorced, you know what I mean? And what I was trying to do is describe the kind of woman that would perfectly fit the president.
Or any other guy.
So there's a part where I say, ambaye sio wa kulalamika kila dakika kazi kuwika. Because in my past marriage, I used to come home from hustling, and as soon as I open the door,
Okay, so I want us to watch that video, for our viewers who've not had it, and then we'll get to talk more about that particular woman that you're talking about, that ideal.
Listen, Betty,
lady.
Please, can you do me a favor? Today, right? It's 2016. I want you to ask me anything that you want, and I won't take it offensively.
Okay, fine. So let's begin by listening to that song first, can we?
I think we should do that because I think the guy who sang that song is very cool.
Okay, let's listen to Mrembo. Director, please help me here.
let's go.
That's a nice song. That's a nice song. I've had those are some of the attributes that you're looking for in a woman.
Absolutely.
Someone who can cook, clean, talk to your mom, respective.
And when I'm stressed, and when I'm stressed,
they need to be there for you.
How?
All right, they're gonna be there for you. Okay, fine. So what inspired this particular song, and why did you come back with a rap song that we know Preso?
This particular song, I'll tell you one thing for a fact. Like, no people love as much as, so to speak, thugs, gangsters.
You think you're a thug, or you are a thug?
I don't think. I know I'm a thug. You know.
So what do you do that makes you a thug?
Everything. I mean, if you Google me, you hear stories about guns and you hear stories about this and that. So I'm not just talking it. That's how I live it. You know what I mean?
No, actually I don't. So
really?
you live for you live the criminal life. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, I'm a corporate thug.
I'm
not a chain snatcher. Like, I'm not gonna meet you at Luthuli and then snatch your chain and run like hell.
So what? Yes, exactly. What does a corporate thug mean?
A corporate thug is a hustler. I hustle. I provide by every means. Like, I got a family to take care of. So I'm a corporate thug, man.
All right.
See, Jambazi. Okay, can I tell you something? Mini gangster, lakini sio gangster Jambazi. Mini gangster, boss of all bosses, gangster. Missy buy na command respect, and if you get out of line, Hakim atakucheck, correct?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, fine. So let's talk about
in a nutshell.
All right, let's talk about the transition, from the Preso that we knew, back then. Do you feel that you've grown or changed since the time we got to hear about you?
I'll never change. I'll always be Preso every day. One thing about me is that, I'd rather live like a man than die like a coward. And I'm a Kikuyu man, so my late father, the way he brought me up, was like, never tuck your tail between your legs for nothing or nobody apart from God. So I have two gods. My first God is the one up above. My second God is my mother. Point blank, period.
Right. Are you seeing anyone right now?
I'm seeing Betty.
No. Are you in a relationship with?
Yeah. I had a relationship with Beyonce, but then she was trying to
Beyonce.
Yeah, she was trying to double play me with Jay-Z and everything, and I'm like, just because we both got big lips doesn't mean that
Okay, come back to reality.
Come back to the world.
So are you dating anyone, or you'd like to keep that person?
No, I'm dating myself. I love myself to death, and nobody can ever love me the way I love myself.
All right, fine. So as we prepare to read the news, I want to ask you about something that, so many people have asked me to talk to you about, and in regards to Jaguar. What's the beef with him?
Who? Jaguar.
The artist?
Like the car?
The artist, the Kenyan artist.
I don't know the guy. He's actually fortunate because I knew about him after I saw him take a picture with my friend. His Excellency the President. When I saw him with the President, and I asked my peoples who were in the background, I was like, who's this guy? And they told me, oh, this guy, he's called
Jaguar.
Yeah. And that's how I found out about him. But to me he's non-existent though. But at the same time, my president, he actually did him a favor because he was like, kwa sababu rafiki ya president Wacha tu nipige picha
Preso,
naye.
I think you're over yourself. It's too much. But as we...
Do you think I should take off my shades or what?
No, it's fine. You can keep them. It's fine. But
You
when you
sure?
read the news, I think you should take them off for the people.
Alright, anything you say.
Right. So I want us to go to the news desk. As you tell me which...
Yeah, so I was telling you.
Yeah. Let's walk together.
This guy, I got to know about him
Yeah.
through Mheshimiwa, the president, Uhuru Kenyatta. Other than that, I don't know the guy.
You don't know the guy.
But he knows
Is there
me
an
though.
artist in Kenya who you'd like to do a collabo with currently?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, have a seat there.
No. Ladies first.
No. I'm not gonna be seating. You're the one who's reading.
My mother raised me better than that. Please have a seat.
All right, no one will sit then. You can
Okay,
actually.
I'll sit.
Okay, great. Preso. Okay, fine. So there you go. So that's the story you're going to be reading there, and I just want you to introduce yourself, and then our viewers ask that you wrap the news for them. All right, and you love your fans, don't you?
Yeah, now I pen the war.
Okay, fine. So you take it away. Just introduce yourself, and then there's a story you can see clearly, or you need to remove your...
You know, honestly, I have a confession to make.
Okay.
I'm short-sighted. I can't see that far, sweetheart.
Really?
Yeah. My God, I can't see that far.
What if you remove your sunglasses or
Even if I
studio
did,
glasses?
I'm short-sighted. I can't see.
Okay, fine. So this is what we're gonna do. You'll read from here. This is a backup. There you go. You can read this.
Why don't you help me out?
No. This is you. The guest can out.
You know,
take
ladies
it away.
first.
No, take it away. No.
Betty.
Okay, I think we'll take a break if you're not gonna read the story.
No, come on, Betty. Come
No.
on.
No.
Okay, how about I
It's
tell you
easy.
about my story then?
No. This is news.
Imperial Bank
No.
shareholders.
Here. Cheering Kenyan citizens. Right. So just read that for us.
Do you think Jaguar can read this?
Take it away, Preso. Take it away.
I can't. I'm short-sighted, mommy.
You can't read from the...
Honest to God. I'm short-sighted.
Okay, fine. All right, so we'll take a break.
No, why don't you read it?
No, it's fine. Don't worry.
Why are you going to be a party pooper?
Don't worry. We'll take that break. John, help me here. And we'll be right back on Friday Briefing with Preso.
Well, good evening and welcome to KTN Business. My name is Abi Agina. In an interesting twist where shareholders of Imperial Bank have hit out at the Central Bank of Kenya for failing to consider its recovery plan. The bank, which is currently under receivership, had in November given the banking regulator its proposed strategy to get the bank reopened, but now says there was little to no goodwill from CBK to reopen the bank. The initial plan was to have the bank reopened by December 2015, but failure to get a consensus between the regulator and Imperial Bank shareholders could spell the end for the bank. This comes after the central bank announced in December that it had partnered with DTB Bank and KCB to repay depositors after what is termed as failure by shareholders to provide adequate assurances to implement a proposal that would enable the prompt reopening of the bank and resumption of normal activities for its customers. According to shareholders, however, the stalemate came about when CBK insisted that shareholders put in 20 billion shillings, while the shareholders maintained that a proper legal and financial framework for the injection, be officially communicated in context of an independent due diligence. Well, that story around Imperial Bank has continued to surge on. We do hope to get some feedback from CBK come next week. And as you know, every Friday we bring you a dose of Transformers, and on this edition we talk about mining. Well, Kenya's mineral resources are beginning to attract foreign investors into the country. Among those to have set up shop is Australian farm-based Titanium Resources in Kwale County. The farm runs the largest mineral sands mine in East Africa, an investment worth over $300 million. Well, here is more on that.
Down at Kenya's coastal city stands this monumental structure.
hosting one of the largest mining operations in East Africa. Welcome to Base Titanium here in Kwale County. The firm, set up in 2013, has been in the business of exploring mineral sands, a rare earth mineral found near oceans in a few parts of the world.
The infrastructure that was needed for to support the project is this primarily this process plant that you see here behind us. This is the centerpiece and probably valued at about half of the total investment of $350 million. This process plant is a typical mineral sands plant.
The mineral known as titanium is mainly used as a raw material in the blending of paints and ceramics, is among Kenya's top export to China and the United States.
We are mining close to 12 million tons of ore per year, and then out of that we are producing and exporting approximately 360,000 tons of ilmenite, 80,000 tons of rutile, and about 25,000 tons of zircon. Primarily the titanium bearing minerals, the ilmenite and the rutile, 95% of them are utilized in the manufacture of pigment.
A walkthrough of the mining plant gives one a sense of the magnitude of investments pumped in the area. A number of infrastructural projects dot the lushy landscape.
The support infrastructure, the dam, the road, the power line, and the port facility totaled approximately $60 million in value.
The mining operation generates annual revenue of about $250 million.
Mining in Kenya is yet to be fully developed, and it is estimated that currently the sector contributes about 10 billion shillings to the country's economy. Mining operations are fully in top gear here in Kwale County, and it is hoped that from these operations the scale of activity will generate more revenues for Kenya, helping the country leapfrog into an upper middle income economy.
Up on the government's sleeve is the enactment into law of the mining bill, which is awaiting Senate approval. The bill has been tipped to be a game-changing piece of legislation for the sector, with a raft of measures aimed at restoring transparency and accountability into the now cartel-driven sector. Disputes have emerged over compensation, with locals claiming of being sidelined in getting a fair share of proceeds from the mining operations, a position that Base Titanium refutes.
Each landowner was compensated 80,000 shillings per acre, both titled and squatter owned.
The streamlining of the mining sector heralds a new dawn for Kenya, with agriculture currently being the economy's mainstay, a foothold Kenya wants to diversify. From the mining sector, Kenya hopes to not only scale up revenues but develop an industry that will help create jobs to millions of unemployed citizens. Whilst the mining industry is now among the top 5 highest revenue earners for the country, minerals remain a scarce resource that are depletable over time.
We've got to really focus on exploration, making it easy, making it competitive to bring investors into that activity.
The hurdle for Kenya moving forward will now be how to manage revenues being generated from the sector and making the right kind of investments to hold the economy once the resource is no more, at a time when global commodity prices are on a downward trend.
The slowdown in China has had a significant impact.
Abi Agina, KTN Business for Transformers. Well, and with Transformers, that brings us to the end of business news for today. I now leave you with the financial report. My name is Abi Agina. Let's meet next week for more business news.
And welcome back to Friday briefing time. For Mind Your Language, I can see so many comments coming through in regard to Mr. Preso. Someone here says that I should be getting hardship allowance. Not to worry, not to worry. People are different. So we want to learn some proper English pronunciations. And let me bring in Willis, the word master. It's great to see you. Second Friday of the year. So excited to hear the words that we're going to be talking about today, Willis. Right, Willis, can you hear me? Happy New Year again.
Well, Happy New Year, Betty. I can now hear you, and you look cool, and you've been having a wonderful time inside the studio with the musician.
I don't know about wonderful, Willis, but you know, he's an interesting kind.
Wonderful time in the positive sense.
All right, Willis. All right, let's see if it's gonna be better with you now that we're learning some English pronunciations. So, Willis, let's start with a word on the street. Let's hear what Kenyans had to say this time round.
Concierge, concierge,
concierge, concierge, concierge,
concierge, concierge, concierge, concierge, concierge, concierge, concierge,
Concierge, concierge, concierge,
concierge, concierge, concierge,
Concierge. Concierge. Concierge.
concierge, concierge, concierge,
concierge, concierge.
Well, it's something to be happy about there. Someone says concierge. It reminds me of siege, you know, instead of siege. Take us through that, Willis. Do we say concierge, concierge?
Well,
how do we go about that
Betty,
one?
As I've always said, some words are very tricky. Like this one is of French origin, and we say concierge. Concierge. So it's very tricky. Concierge.
Right.
So I don't know whether even the viewers or those who are listening to the way I'm saying that word would pick it correctly. We say concierge. Concierge. That is the way we should pronounce that word. A very tricky one, Betty.
Got it, Willis, got it. Let's move on to another word. Now, this word, Willis, is not the first time that we're handling it on Mind Your Language, but there's so many people who are asking about it. Eyebrows, you know, how do we go about that one?
Well, Betty, if I may interrupt you and you forgive me for that, I'm realizing there is also, another problem tonight in terms of communication from your side. So I'll request you to allow me just to go through, because this side, the cameraman and the local technician are already showing me some of the words that you seem to be having. So I'll request you to allow me to go through them so that we don't have a problem like the other time.
Sure,
so we say eyebrows. Eyebrows. We don't say eyebrows. I can see the other word is what some people may say coffee, and as you sometimes put it, somebody may feel it's a swag, but that is not the case. We say coffee. We don't say coffee. Then the next word, if I'm not wrong, I can also see another word is absenteeism. Absenteeism. Let us not say absenteeism, no. Absenteeism. There's that primary stress where you say teism, that is absenteeism. Then we have gymnasium. We should not say gymnasium. Then the other word from Dan, the cameraman, now is also taking over the technical aspect of it. We say museum, not museum. Then placket. We don't say placket. That one came from Gethin Moriasi, if I'm not wrong. Then another word I can see is rationale. Rationale. Betty, we don't say rationale, we say rationale. So the viewer who sent in that word should get it right. Rationale, just like morale, not morale. Then the feedback question, I'm also saying there's a wonderful work from Dan. We have measure. You say measure, not mesa. And that one I think is from Dr. Lennox of Nairobi. Then when we focus tonight on my surprise word, I know it will be very tricky, especially for the learned friends or our brothers and sisters who are in the legal profession. We say legal, but we don't say legalize. So my surprise word tonight is legalize. That is the verb, legalize, to legalize. Just like we say penal, but we don't say penalize. We say penalize. And then remember, I always have also the word that sometimes confuses people. Either we mistake the spelling or we mispronounce the word. So straight away to that with my flashcard in this case. So we have the word pronunciation, none. The verb is pronounce, but we don't say pronunciation. So the word below is wrong. The one up there, Betty, is the correct spelling, and we say pronunciation, not pronunciation, the way many people say it. And this one reminds me about one very tough lady and a lover of KTN for that matter, called Martha Mkutu. Martha Mkutu told me we should remember and we should remind people that we say pronunciation, not pronunciation. I've taken your time, Betty, but I think it does the same for tonight.
Right, Willis. I like those words. And I remember the pronunciation. That's the first time I actually spoke to you, Willis, on phone. And you corrected me and said, no, we do not say pronunciation, we say pronunciation. Willis, thank you so much.
Well, that is true, Betty, because it's a word that really confuses many people. Even that lady who deals with matters, communication, the Martha Mkutu, she says she really loves your English.
Right. Thank you so much, Willis. Always a pleasure having you. Always a pleasure having you on the show, Willis, teaching us those difficult pronunciations, including pronunciation. Willis, hope to see you again next Friday for another fiery edition of Mind Your Language.
Always we'll have to do what we do very well every Friday night. And as I always say, they can also reach me on Willis Ochieng 1. That is Twitter.
Right.
On Twitter, it's at Willis Ochieng 1. Betty, bye for now.
Okay, goodbye. Thank you so much, Willis there. The word master coming to us from Kisumu County. You can always get him on Twitter at Willis Ochieng 1, as he has just mentioned, if you have any more questions that you'd like to put out to him. Now, that's it for Mind Your Language this week. Coming up shortly is sports. Right, let's now take a look at sports. And the national women volleyball team, also known as Malkia Strikers, has a tough battle ahead, having to play with continental volleyball teams, including Algeria, Egypt, Tunisia, alongside 17 others who are also struggling hard to get a place in the coming Olympic Games, which will be held in Rio, Brazil. The draws will be played from 12th to 19th of February in Yaoundé, Cameroon.
Reigning Africa volleyball champions, the Malkia Strikers, have been hard at work at the Safaricom Indoor Arena in Kasarani, all aware of the tough road to the Rio Olympics.
Olympics is like a major function in the world
and even in Africa qualifying for it, everyone wants to fight for the slot. So we know it's going to be tough, but we are really working hard for it.
Kila mtu hapa anataka kwenda Olympics, ni matumaini ya kila mtu. At least hata kama kuacha kucheza volleyball, at least umepata ile stage ya Olympics. So wako na morale juu, they want to qualify.
Kenya last qualified for the Olympics in 2004, while Algeria took the African slot to the Beijing and London 2012 Olympics. The thirst to qualify for the Rio Games saw the Malkia strikers forfeit their holiday season to focus on the qualifiers.
When you are the best, everyone is training for you. So everyone is looking at you, everyone is coming saying you are going to beat Kenya. But we are not going to relax. Yeah, we are really working hard. Also, since we've played with those teams last year, we are also training, looking at how they play also. Then we try to improve on our strength more, then work on our weaknesses.
The African Olympic qualifiers will be held on 12th to 19th of February in Cameroon, where 17 countries have confirmed participation. Egypt, Algeria, Mozambique and Tunisia are some of the contenders in a tournament where only one ticket to Rio is up for grabs. The current Malkia strikers is a mixture of experience and fresh talent.
Hatukwenda Christmas, hatukwenda New Year, wote tumekuwa hapa kujaribu kusaidiana, wale wote wamekuja wapya waingiane na system za team. Na nafurahi kwamba wamepata kupata ile motisha na system wameingia vizuri.
We are just like in the same age bracket, so we are just working together. We support those who are coming up, and also we share experience.
If the Malkia strikers qualify, they will join the men and women's rugby sevens teams that have already qualified for Rio. They may be the unprecedented African queens when it comes to volleyball. However, the Malkia strikers are well aware that the authority will only be stamped if they do qualify for the Rio Olympics. Lynn Washira, KTN.
Kenya is set to witness a history in the making as youngster Tejas Hirani prepares to take part in this month's RX Winter Series in Sweden. Hirani, who is the former Formula Golf champion, will become the first African to take part in the series. The youngster who signed for Oldsberg MCE feels he has what it takes to conquer the world. Robinson Okenya reports.
From Abdel Rahman.
Kenya is famous for its prowess in sports, producing world beaters, mostly in athletics, rugby and volleyball. But now the world is set to witness another world champion in the making as Tejas Hirani prepares to take part in the RX Winter Sports Rally Racing on ice and the RX Lights. Hirani becomes the first African and Kenyan to ever take part in the championship, adding to his already decorated career.
This kid is the first Kenyan to ever win an international race series. He is the UAE champion.
I'll be the RX Lights champion, but my goal is much long term. I want to be the first African world champion, the first Kenyan world champion.
The 17-year-old who was named 2013 Most Promising Boy Sports Personality of the Year at the SOA Awards and the 2015 Formula Golf champion signed to Rallycross heavyweights MSE Oldsberg, and his partners feel they have a champion amongst them.
Tejas will be one of 5 drivers that OMSE will put a lot of forces into to try to make them a star. And the competition starts now.
Now it's my time to explore the world, and I'm really excited to be part of the biggest team in the world, with the greatest people in the world.
With Rallycross still lagging behind in the country, stakeholders hope Tejas' signing will go a long way in popularizing the sport. Tejas will take part in his first race in RX Lights in Montalegre, Portugal in April. Robinson Okenya, KTN Sports.
The Big Q, in association with DSTV. Get a DSTV HD fully installed decoder for only 5,550 shillings.
Right, so they say that good things have to come to an end. Thank you so much for watching. But we have to do a review of our big question tonight. And we had asked you, do you support the rule-bearing televangelists from asking for money on TV and radio? And we want to just sample one or two messages here. I'll start with one from Tsuma. He says, it's unfair what the communications body is doing, absolutely unacceptable. Someone else by the name of Wanjiko Vicky says, I support it at 100%. Let them do it in their respective houses of worship. That, of course, so much feedback in regards to that. But thank you so much for texting and tweeting.
Drop the rest, get the best. This festive season, buy a DSTV HD fully installed decoder for 5,500 shillings to enjoy the best quality family entertainment with various packages to suit your needs from as low as 1,050 shillings.
Right. Thank you so much for watching Friday Briefing this 8th of January. It has been an interesting one. But next week, of course, we'll have a great show too. And do join us then. My name is Betty Okari. Good night.